Our roads are pretty covered in ice up here. I know you can look at your cameras, you're getting your reports from your people. How soon before our roads are passable? Because I know you're telling folks still stay off of them.
Well, it's really a catch-22 in many regards, Aaron. We know that this isn't going to get much better until we get above freezing for a significant period of time. The biggest hurdle, and you're aware of this, is that we have nightly refreezing, and we had Mother Nature doing what Mother Nature does, and we can only compete and keep up as much as our resources and abilities allow us to. And so we expect this to start thawing today. We will begin the digging out process. Much of what you saw over the last couple of days started with pre-treatment and moved into maintaining what we had was open. And then we're moving into rescue, and now we're moving into digging out of what we've done. And just to give your listeners an idea of what's happened, some people say we didn't do enough, or there's never a satisfied customer in these situations across the board. But we'd had over 1,400 people across the state, primarily in North Louisiana, following the weather in advance of this storm, working 24 hours. We were salting and brining, doing what is the national best practice to do. The reality is when you get 1.5 inches or 2 inches of ice, no amount of salt is going to make a difference in that. And so we do what we know how to do, which is use our equipment and resources and our plans that have worked. Will it work in every situation? Absolutely not, because we can't overcome Mother Nature. But 3.5 million pounds of salt later and thousands of gallons of brine, mostly along the interstates. And remember, we also have preemptive closures that we do because we know we have lots of elevated structure that will leave and fall under the weight of the snow in terms of their utility. And so we close certain routes and maintain minimal access that we are committed to maintaining throughout an event. And that's what we've done. That's actually been our plan for several years. And it's worked. So, for example, we preemptively close I-49 north from 220 and move traffic to 71 because of the volume of traffic, because of the ability to maintain it a little better and the lack of structure compared to what you have on I-49. So, we do the best we can. We don't have the snow plows that you see in other states because that's just not a practical solution for us when we have once every 2 or 3 year snow events, because when you do pull them out of the garage, if they don't work, then you're really in trouble. So,
excuse me a second, Dr. Shawn. You sort of answered my question, but you used the term digging out a couple of times. I lived in the Midwest and the East Coast for like 25 years. In Michigan, digging out means getting out the plows and scraping the roads till they're clean. In Louisiana, when we have a once every 25 or 30 or 50 year storm like this, what does digging out mean?
Great question. We use motor graders, we use skid steers, we use attachments on our existing equipment that are rubberized. And so we can buy attachments, and we do have them, that we use to push snow, and it effectively works as a snow plow. We use sweepers, believe it or not, in parts of the state when you have snow and not ice. Some of the trucks we have over 80 trucks that are equipped with dirt dogs or salt dogs. I call them dirt dogs, but salt dogs, which are equipped to be used in a dump truck so that it serves double duty during the normal operation. It's sand and gravel and other things. And in preparation of these events, we load in the salt dog and we use it as a spreader. So we do what is an efficient use of resources and identify those types of equipment. And in your area, believe it or not, we have the largest cadre of equipment because you're more prone to the snow than what you might be in New Orleans. And likewise, New Orleans has more pumps and tiger dams to prevent flooding that you don't have in the north. And so we do have the equipment that we need to dig out in terms of what we have here in Louisiana.
Shawn, excuse me, Dr. Wilson.
Shawn's fine.
A lot of people listening are thinking we're going to have a good 6 hours of above freezing today. Please tell me, Dr. Wilson, that you're really going to put the manpower out there in force today to try to speed up the melting. Is that the plan?
That is, in fact, the plan. And again, right now we have 20 opened as best we can. And to a certain degree, traffic helps us keep the roads open and keep them from freezing. What happens in a lot of cases, in most of the cases, even in the middle of the night, we had one over in Monroe that there was a jackknife truck that was stopping traffic. When you stop traffic, all of the road in front of you just accumulates snow and ice. All of the road behind the traffic incident is actually locking up brakes on 18-wheelers or running out of gas and doing all kinds of other issues, and that becomes the problem. And so we've had tremendous snow and ice. It's not going to happen in just 2 hours, but what's also concerning is, remember, we will de-ice and get this as much as we can. We crush and crack and move and scrape. But overnight, what's going to happen is there's going to be a refreeze, and so there'll be a little step back, but we're going to be back at it in the morning.
What about the bridges over the Red River, the Jimmy Davis, Texas Street? Are y'all going to be focusing on them today, too?
Well, we do focus on off-ramps and on-ramps. We focus on elevated structures, and of course, we have to focus on the road itself. And so considering how we get to the bridges, we actually, in some cases, do contraflow in terms of our equipment to be able to open up an exit to let people get off and get onto another route. We will scrape our way in and brush our way in to make sure that we can get folks on and off. And so it's not as easy as just starting on the bridge, because you can have a great desalted bridge, but if the road is loaded with ice, no one's ever going to get to it. So we do have a methodical way of looking at it and using folks in our different parish units to approach those key routes like I-20 and I-49 and the bridges in these urban areas, so that we can get the economy moving and get folks back to where they need. Now, there's going to be some significant potential of having to move 18-wheelers off of the shoulders of the road. That's what we've used. National Guard and state police has cooperated with us to help tow some of those off. So it's going to be a process that we have a number of things that we do in the effort of reopening. The most important thing is getting lots of sun and getting above freezing, because our manpower is going to be there, and we're going to use every piece of equipment we have and every resource we have to try and eliminate that. We won't have the precipitation that we've been seeing throughout the last couple of days. And remember, we're not only dealing with this, but we're also responding, supporting the city and Shreveport in terms of their water issues, being prepared for fires. And it's just a multitude of things. This is a statewide task, and it's a statewide agency effort to provide support where we can to help our citizens.